CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. Obviously, he made his return. I'm not telling you something that you don't know. Uh, Look, big shock to me. That was crazy. I didn't know how to feel about it. It's really one of them things that, like, look, I'm really sort of indifferent. I was like, was I excited? Yes. Did I like to see him back? Yes. Did it impact my life? No. Do I feel a certain way about CM Punk? To feel a certain way about him here too? No. Um, it's really more so just like, all right, cool. That's crazy. He's here. What they actually? My thing was like, man, they actually pulled that hoe off. That's crazy. I didn't think they would. I didn't think WWE was gonna do it way more than I thought CM Punk was gonna return. To be honest, because I'm like, he's already been in WWE with the little talking show. He been talking about WWE forever. He went to AEW, still talking about WWE, but then he wrestled in a whole nother promotion. So I was like, and then he got fired from that promotion twice. But I'm like, yeah, I was like, him coming to WWE, I felt like, yeah, WWE called him, he would come back. To be honest, I really think that if WWE wanted him before AEW a few years ago, I think he would have showed up. I always thought that I was like, it's sort of the principle, but I also think too that I'm like, yes, they had all their stuff and it sucked and all this other stuff. But I do think I think money talks, and I also think that in that space, because I was like, wrestling is not the same thing as other sports or our regular jobs or nothing like that. Where I was like, it's freelance in a way because they're independent contractor, but they're not. But you can get offered enough money, you can not offer enough things to do to where you could sort of you could sort of like whatever your boss has to say, and at the same time you can sort of whatever them, while also being like, this is my product that I also got to put out. Whereas like at your job, they're not going to give you enough money to make that feel like, oh, okay, I'll be around this person I don't like in this company I don't like, and also too, you don't get to just skirt your boss either. So you're not in that situation. Or with like basketball, football, guess what? They're not just going to trade you just because, unless you're one of them top talents. So guess what? That means you stuck there. Once you get your money, that's your money. You can't really do anything else about it either. So so that's why I'm like, it's a different business. Um, I was like, everybody gonna be like, he's a hypocrite and stuff like that. And I think it would, like, if he would have came back like how I said years ago, I would have probably been like, okay, I can see why people saying he's a hypocrite. But I was like, I feel like it's different once everything is different. Like, the company is the same name, but it's not anything with the same direction, the same people ahead of it, and all that other stuff. Like, you get fired from Burger King, and you're like, man, bump that Burger King. I was like, the Toya family and all them, bump them and Burger King. Does that mean that you're not going to work at Burger King anymore if they come back and be like, yo, we'll double your pay or something like that? The Toya family gone. I'm just saying, I'm like, it's like, who's running this? The Smiths. Are they in it? No. Okay, cool. Totally different direction. You got it. This is all you. I was like, I'm getting paid what? I don't think it's the same thing. It's almost like I was like, well, technically they did, but like getting bought out. So that means it's a different type of relationship here. So that's why, like, like I said, if it was Vince and it was Laurinaitis and all them and like stuff, I would be like, okay, I get it. You went back. You must have been desperate on cash, or I was like, you really can't have nowhere else to go. You were just talking out the side of your neck, all that type of stuff. But like I said, different management, different regime, all these things. It's just a different look. That's why I can't be like he's a hypocrite in that whole thing. Also, Punk is one of those people too that I'm like, I feel like everything he's saying is true to him. It's his truth. And guess what you can sort of do when you say, when it's like your truth, your perspective, your life, guess what everybody can do? Nobody can. I mean, we can. We got opinions and stuff. But we can't really knock or poo-poo on it. You can't. That's sort of the double edge of all that stuff, is that it could be it could be a shield to everything at the same time. Like, that doesn't take away from it being true, but it also could take away from us calling BS on it. And I was like, from his perspective, it's true. From our perspective, it's a little bit BS. But like in the promo, I felt like it was genuine enough. I pretty much that, he's back. I was like, what he said was it was a good promo of him like having to leave to come back, to feel like he's home, to feel like he never knew what he really lost until he basically, I was like, it's sort of cliche that people say, like, you don't really know what you have until it's gone. I'm like, it's like, it's no different. Like, some things where people say, like, you need to take a break in a relationship in order to realize how much y'all love each other, that kind of thing. And that's why I said, I was like, I think that, to be honest, I think that if WWE would have went to him way before AEW and gave him substantial money, he would have been at WWE. Because I really think that, I feel like, see, because AEW has hardcore fans. They do. They have hardcore, diehard fans. WWE do as well, but they got a broader audience of fans. But I think that there's just a different level of AEW and how their locker room, their crowd, and all the other stuff is different than WWE. And I think that's just something that I think it was just two different types of drugs. That's what I think it was. And I was like, I think he was longing for the one that he asked first. I was like, I know it's not first, you know what I'm saying, but him being like, he's back home. I was like, him saying that he had to go away. I was like, him saying that the only thing about his promo that I thought was like, when he was like, when he came in, it was all love, all love, all love. But he eventually got to the point where he was like, then there was some people who didn't, and there was some haters and all this other stuff. And true. I mean, I was like, I think a lot of people probably are just gonna be like, Adam. Now I'm saying there's gonna be people who mad, or people who just like really gonna bring him in after he done did it to multiple places, here, there, twice, and all this other stuff. But I do think that for the most part, everybody's kind of like, I don't really have to talk to Punk. I don't have to go through him. Like at AEW, the way things seem to run over there, you sort of, not that you have to go through Punk, but you're going to have to deal with Punk. Like, you're going to have to deal with whoever, like the top people, the top wrestlers over there, or people you're doing storyline and other stuff with. Where WWE, I feel like they got enough other people, side people, and all this other stuff to regulate all that kind of stuff, or to help things move easier along. And there's people to be like, where you don't really have to go through it with Punk in order to get where you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I was like, I'm excited and trepidatious. Like, I was like, him having a blow up incident or whatever like that, I'm like, that'd probably be nipped in the bud. Nobody's really worried about that. It's whatever. I was like, I think if something goes awry, I'm like, this is last chance. I was like, he ain't gonna mess it up this early anyway. And I think if something does happen, I'm like Triple H and all of them. I think will be not. I will like won't quick to hesitate to load his ass. But it's really because it's this late in the game. Like this would have been something that happened like the Monday or whatever after WrestleMania. It'd have been crazy, but it'd be like, oh man, what are they gonna do? This is gonna be what? Now it's like, man, who did he screw up? Like, you know, now that I already talked to him like facing Roman, and it's like, well, how are you gonna do that? I was like, I don't think he is, but he's gonna be a high pick for winning the Royal Rumble. I don't know what they're gonna do with Elimination Chamber, but if they do whatever they do with Elimination Chamber, where that's a number one contender for whoever don't win the other one or something like that, I was like, I'm just like, what can you put him in matches and stuff like that? You're not gonna give him the title this early, but what can you put him in? What can you do with him? And who does that? Because I was like, mess up, because especially while everybody doing these high title reigns, it's like who do you put him up against? I mean, luckily all we got is Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, and then we got WrestleMania. So I think I was like, I don't think there's one in between WrestleMania and Elimination Chamber. I know there used to be, but anyway, so that's really like 3 months. And so I'm like, you can find a good enough feud to probably put him in for that without having to throw him to Seth Rollins, because I was like, I feel like they should just continue. I think, to be honest, they should really just continue whatever their storyline really was, and just let CM Punk do side quest. I don't even think CM Punk had to be there every day. I think he'd be on here up until Royal Rumble. I was like, I don't think he had to be. I was like, maybe you want to do Elimination Chamber with him, you can. That way, it's sort of like he can lose in Elimination Chamber, but it's not like him losing a one-on-one match. And then WrestleMania, you give him somebody that that's a good matchup that he can take over or whatever. I was like, I don't know who that necessarily be by that time. I was like, but because you also don't really want CM Punk to lose, and that's the problem, that you can't have him against a young person. He's going to put that person over. He did that at AEW now. He did put over a couple young people, So you could have him do that. Like, maybe you put him in the NXT, like bring up an NXT person to face him on the main roster. Not send him to NXT, that kind of thing. But I was like, I'm pretty indifferent to CM Punk, but I was like, as far as him coming back, but now that he's here, I'm excited to see what they do with him. And I was like, is he a hypocrite? I say no. I say no for this particular specific situation. Now we want to talk about his whole overall grand scheme. That's a different story. Like, do I think CM Punk could probably be an asshole? Yeah. Can he be a jerk? Yeah. But I also think too that I'm like, he could be all those things, and he could probably be even more stuff. My thing is he just the only one that we hear about? He's CM Punk. So therefore I'm like, it's almost like the Cowboys. We don't actually know anything else because you're the Cowboys. So we're going to say whether you suck or you're okay regardless of what that other team might be doing, because they might be doing something just as bad, or they might just suck as bad. So I'm like, guess what? There are probably other people that will probably be in the wrong just as much. But I'm like, guess what we're going to do? We're going to really focus on CM Punk because he's the main guy. He's been to multiple companies. And look, I understand too that you keep going to places and they keep rubbing people off the long. I was like, I need to rephrase that. Rubbing people the wrong way enough that you could put together a whole booklet to be like, nope, this is what genre you're in. So I totally agree with that. I was like, I can see where everybody's coming from. But I also know, too, that I'm like, we haven't talked about nobody else from any of these things, any of these rums that's happened, except for him, and we got an opinion on him, and that's it. And I was like, I don't think selective hating or selective like stuff like that is bad. I was like, we're all human, and I think I was like, you're everybody's total to their, for value to whatever opinion they have, stuff like that. But I do also get that I'm like, there's nobody else that I feel like we also have that opinion for either. So I'm like, now that you got, I was like, I don't really think you need to treat everybody the same in these concepts. I'm just saying that in the wrestling business, you got to do a lot of standing your ground and knowing when to take things and knowing when to be like, nah, I'm asserting myself a lot more than other professions of in sports, because you really get to show your stuff in a way that you don't ever have to fight for it in that type of sense. But anyway, what do you think of CM Punk? Are you excited for him in WWE? Are you indifferent as he's in WWE? Are you indifferent that he came back, or you was excited that he came back? Who do you want to see him matched up against, or do you not care? I was like, does this make any of y'all not want to watch wrestling? WWE, or just his stuff? I don't know. Asking questions. Anyway, answer those. Let me know if you like the video. Tell me all the stuff. You pose any other question or any other stuff you want about CM Punk, you can. Until then, I'll be back for more WWE CM Punk stuff. Yeah.